Welcome to Big Data Thoughts. Today we are going to talk about a topic called change data capture. Now this is not really related to big data or cloud, but this is in general a concept which is very important in the data engineering world. Whenever we build ETL pipelines or ELT pipelines and we are getting data from different sources, we have to do a change data capture, and it is absolutely important to have fundamentals clarified as to what it means, what are the different scenarios and how to handle that. I have seen this in my experience that many people do not understand this fully, and hence there is a lot of confusion. So we are going to talk in detail about what it is, the different scenarios and how to handle them. So what is a change data capture? Change data capture is nothing but to understand how the data is changing. So if we are getting data from, let's say, a system called source system A, we are getting a data today on day 1. On day 2, when I again fetch the data is not going to remain static. There would be certain records that will undergo change. If it is a customer database, we may have changes to the name, to the address, any of the fields. So there are going to be changes, and when I am building a data lake or a data store, I need to take care of those changes and need to capture them to understand that whatever record that came on day 1, how did it change over time. So that is change data capture. Primarily there will be 3 types of changes: inserts, which are addition of new records; updates, where we are updating some field in the existing record; and delete is if the record gets deleted from the source system, then that becomes a delete for me. How do I handle it? That depends on my system that I'm creating. Do I want to actually hard delete it or I want to soft delete it? So we will talk about those, but primarily the changes that happen to a record are in 3 forms: insert, update or delete. Now I'll take an example to explain this better. Let's say on day 1 this data comes in. Let's just assume that this is an employee database, and for simplicity I have taken 4 fields: the ID, the name, address and the date of joining. So initially on day 1 we got 3 records. Now on day 2 what happens is this Pune address gets changed and it becomes Bangalore. This record number 2 gets deleted, and there is an addition of one more record number 4. Then how will it look like on day 2? On day 2 ideally we will have these 3 records. First record gets updated from Pune to Bangalore. Second record we have removed and we have added one more record. So this is how I am capturing the change in my system. Now there are different ways how do I handle this change, but essentially change data capture is taking care of how the data is changing between subsequent days. So let's talk about the scenarios. When we talk about change data capture, there are broadly 2 scenarios. One is full load, the second is incremental. What does this mean? So full load means that from the source system every day I am going to get entire dump of the data. So on first day if I got 100 records, on the next day if there are more records getting added, updated or deleted, whatever happens, I am going to get that entire set of record from the source system to my side. So this kind of a scenario is very simple to handle because we know that every day we are getting all the records. There is no need for me to identify what got changed because I am getting everything. So it's a simplest scenario, and what we will do is we will simply overwrite the data that we got in yesterday. So every day whatever data I get, since it is a full load, I will keep overwriting it. So ideally if you see day 1 we had 3 records. On day 2 the source system itself will send a full load to me with updated, new record inserted and the deleted already removed. So it is very simple, we just take it and we overwrite it. Now let us look at a more complex scenario where we are getting incremental load. Here we will talk about different scenarios that are happening. So first of all, let us take a scenario where we are getting incremental load, which means every day the source system is only going to send us the records that get changed. They are not giving us the entire data. They are giving us only the records that got changed. Another important thing to note here is that the source is definitely sending us incremental data, that is what we are talking about, but they have also identified what kind of a change it is. So they are sending only the records that have changed. So the number 1 has changed and it is an update, number 2 has changed, it is a delete, and number 4 is a new addition. So the source is sending only those records that have changed, and there is a flag to identify the type of change. So our job is a bit easier because we don't need to find out what type of change each record has undergone. So what we will do, simply on day 1 we had these 3 records, 1, 2 and 3. On day 2, since we got this update from the source that there are 3 records that have changed, accordingly we will make changes to our table. So what we'll do, we'll pick up the records with the flag I, which means they are additions. We will simply append them to our table because they are new records that have come in. All the records which are with the flag D, that means they are deleted. So we are going to find out these records in our table and delete them. Now one thing to keep in mind is in Hive, or when we were storing data into HDFS, we were storing data into Hive, Impala, those kind of systems, there was no inline update. There is no inline update. So what do? We read the entire partition or the entire table, perform the join, find out the records, looking at the incoming data that has come in, whatever records are with the flag D, we delete them from our existing table and we overwrite the data again into that partition or the table. Because there are no inline updates, we have to read the entire data, create a new data set by doing all the operations that we need and rewrite the data into the table. Similarly, we'll pick up the data with flags U. Those are updates, and those updates have to be done. Now that will be done in a similar way. We need to read the partition or the table, create the data set that we need by updating it, and then rewrite the data into the table or partition. The next scenario is again incremental, but here the source is not telling us what got changed. They are sending us incremental data, but they are not telling us what got changed. So now we have an additional responsibility first to identify what got changed and then rewrite the data. So here what we do is we do a left outer join. Left outer join with the incoming data set, which is this that has come in from the source, and our existing table. One more important thing to keep in mind is we do not want to track changes for each and every column in the table, because there can be a very wide table which has hundreds of columns and business may not be even interested to track the changes that are happening in each column. So it is always good to have a discussion with business to understand that out of, let's say, 300 columns, what are the columns where they are interested to track the change. Maybe just 5 or 10 columns. So those are the columns on which we have to do the check whether something changed or not. So why we are doing a left outer join is we want to take all the records that have come in new, as well as we want to identify the updates. Now we cannot identify deletes because the source system has not told us what got deleted, and it did not come as a part of the incremental data that was sent by the source. So we do not know what got deleted. Deletes can only be identified if we are getting a full load, because we are overwriting that entire data. So we'll automatically remove the delete, or deletes can be identified if source explicitly sends us the deleted records. So in a case where we are having incremental data and the changes are not identified, we can only identify inserts and updates. We can't identify deletes. So I'll talk about how to handle deletes separately. But for now, let us understand that handling incremental loads, we can identify only the updates and the inserts. So inserts are easy to understand, because when we do a left outer join, whatever does not match and is coming from the incoming data set is an insert. We simply append them into our table. Whatever gets matched, so how will we match? We will take the primary keys, perform a join on the primary key, and we are going to match on the columns that the business is interested in. If any of those columns have changed, then we know that there is an update and we are going to change it in our existing table. So that's how we are handling the incremental data where the changes have not been identified. Okay, now we will also talk about a very important concept called slowly changing dimensions. This we have seen in the data warehousing world, where we must have done SCD type 1 and type 2. So here in the big data world also, when we are dealing with data which is changing over time, we do talk about slowly changing dimensions and we handle them differently. So we will talk about two most commonly used SCD types, SCD type 1 and SCD type 2. Type 1 means we are keeping only the latest version of data. For example, the data that we took in, the first time the record 1 had address as Pune, on day 2 it became Bangalore. But we are not interested in keeping the version of data. So what we are doing, we are just keeping the latest version which says that the address is Bangalore. So that is known as SCD type 1. But if we have a requirement to store all the versions of data, because I want to do a point in time reporting, trending reports, then I need to store entire history of the data, how it changed. So I will have two records, both Pune and Bangalore. So let us look at this in detail. In SCD type 1, we will always have the latest version. So if you see here, I just have a record called Bangalore. The Pune record is not here because the latest update to the record is Bangalore. Record number 2 is not there, that's deleted, and we just have 3 and 4. So each record will have only one version and the latest version. But if I look at SCD type 2, what I have done is I have kept the entire history of how the data changed. So first record, earlier was Pune, later it became Bangalore. We are storing both the records. But what we are doing is we have added few additional columns, the start date, the end date, and a flag which is latest, which means which record is my latest record. Now why am I doing that? First of all, I wanted to track each and every version of the data, which means I wanted to see how the data or the record changed over time. If the record changes 10 times, we will have 10 rows with the same primary key 1, and the change, whatever has changed, that change will come and we will have these dates. So what this date tells me is what was the time when this version, the first version, was active. So if you see, start date is 1st of July, because when we did the ELT on first day, on 1st of July, the record came in as Pune. So my start date was 1st of July, and that time my end date should be actually 9999, means the record is still active in the system, there is no other version. But on the second day, as soon as the address got changed to Bangalore, I created a new version, and what I did, I made the end date as 2nd July, because this record with primary key 1 has address as Bangalore. This has come in on 2nd July, so my start date is 2nd July. I have made the end date as 9999, which shows me that this is my current version which has not ended, and I made the end date of the previous version as 2nd July. So when I look at this table, I can clearly call out that for record number 1, there are two versions. One version was active from 1st of July to 2nd July, which means the person was staying in Pune from 1st to 2nd, but the person shifted to Bangalore from 2nd and he is still in Bangalore because this record does not have an end date. It is 999. So it is active. If you see the other records 3 and 4 have 2nd July as incoming date because that is when they came in and they are active. So the end date is 9999, and the active flag for all three is Y, which means these are the latest versions, and all previous versions we will mark as N. Now why do we need this flag? Because if there are systems downstreams which are going to query this data and they are only interested in the latest record, they can just put a filter on this flag. If I do not have this flag, then they have to actually go and pick up all the records with 999. That is also possible, but that is a bit of overhead because they have to pick up the records with primary key and then they have to again filter on the record which end date is 99. So that is why we have this additional flag. It becomes easy to have a filter on the latest column. Whatever is Y are the latest or the last version of that data. So this is how SCD type 2 is handled. Now we will talk about, so till now we spoke about how do we handle full loads, how do we handle incremental loads with flags identified, like flags which identify the type of change. Also scenarios where it is incremental but there is no flag, so we need to identify. And in those scenarios, how do we store the data in our system? Do we maintain versions? Do we only keep the latest version? And how do we do that? Now the other thing that we're going to see is deletes. How do we handle deletes? So first of all, deletes can be of two types. One is hard delete, one is soft delete. Now this is just the way of handling it in our data lake. Sometimes the source may delete the record, but we do not want to delete it in our system. We want to keep a track of it. Then what we do is we do not actually delete the record. We just say that we are adding a flag which identifies that the record is deleted, but it is a soft delete because this record is still in our system with a flag which identifies that it is deleted, but it is in our system. Hard delete is where we remove it from our data store or data lake once it is removed from the source. Now this decision really depends on the use case, the business need, and how do we want to handle it. So if you look at this, we have added a delete flag. So these records 1, 3 and 4 are active, so their delete flags are N, but the delete flag of record number 2 is Y, which means this is a soft delete, and this delete record we have not removed but we have marked it as deleted. We can also have an additional column here of start date and end date which will identify actually this record was introduced when, and end date will tell us when did it get deleted. So that is also doable, and sometimes we do that. It depends purely on the use case need. Okay, now this was all about what is change data capture, different scenarios, and how do we handle it. I hope this video helps you because this scenario is going to come in each and every use case that we build, irrespective of the data store, whether it is a big data store or it is a data warehouse or wherever, change data capture is going to be there. So thank you so much everyone. Please like, subscribe and share the videos. See you next time.